What's poppin', everyone, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Hopefully you all are having an absolutely fantastic kick butt day today so far. Guys, I am most definitely having a kick butt day because I can finally tell you all that I got my second ever rank 30 brawler here playing this game, and it's with one of my favorites, Dynamike. I'm currently trying my best during this season to get Dynamike to rank 35, which has been a very long time goal here on the channel, and I think we have a very good chance of doing so now with the longer seasons. But of course, the milestones that we get along the way are very important as well. So what we're going to be doing today is going over some of the matches that we had during our rank 30 Dynamike push for some overall fun and enjoyable Dynamike gameplay. So hope you guys are all excited. Let's get straight away into it. Here we go! So everyone, we are beginning today's video off over here in Brawl Stars, taking a look at the absolutely beautiful 1,000 trophies on Mike. Not a trophy higher, not a trophy less. It is perfect. Now we managed to push Dynamike from 650 all the way up to 1,000 during two different pushing streams over on my second channel. If you guys would like a more in-depth look at the entire grind, make sure to go check out that channel. We've been streaming every single day this week, and I think I'm going to have an even more in-depth look at the matches leading up to 1,000 in a highlight video over there as well. But without any further ado, why don't we get straight away into some of my favorite matches. Okay guys, so hopping straight away into the very first match I want to share with you all today. We're sitting at about 912 trophies on Mike during this game, and we're up against a fairly tricky comp for Mike, to say the least. A Surge and an Edgar, both very hard to go up against, but taking out the Edgar right off the get-go with a gadget stun and then securing the mid lane, so then it is 3v1 to take down the Surge here. One thing that I noticed during our grind, a really good thing to do is surprise someone right off the get-go with a stun gadget. Get control over your lane and then try to work with that momentum going forward. Managing to stun the 8-bit again there. Whenever situations like this happen, like say two brawlers really hard counter you with Dynamike, just try to pick out the brawler you should be going for and really try your best to take them down. 8-bit has no movement speed, so you can really abuse that. You can basically just use auto aim and land some sort of chip damage if they're close by. But the Surge gadgeting in on us and taking us out, doing Surge things, 3-tapping us once again, and now we're kind of in a tricky spot here because he has that long range, but we have a good amount of gems in our possession. Rinse doing a very good job at playing that mid with 8-bit, trying to control that Surge as best as we can, and then they just end up giving up. Whenever I came across like a really hard counter comp, I'd always get super nervous because if they kill you, they secured their lane right off the get-go, it can mean disaster for your team. But we did a really good job at getting off to a good start and really working with that momentum moving forward during that match. But why don't we get into another one here later on during our grind. Okay guys, so getting into our next one here, up against a Tara, a Spike, and a Mr. P. All very good brawlers on this map. I would say Spike maybe the easiest to go up against as a Dynamike, especially on this map. I find Tara is really good here, especially if she can hold down this left side. She has those walls to protect herself, and the Mr. P can just harass you over the wall from the middle. Also, we're sitting at about 960 trophies-ish right now. So what I was finding, especially on this map, is I tried to prioritize when I would get my super if I didn't want to use it on someone, to take out one of those walls if we had like a Tara to go up against or a Sandy or something like that. And you'll notice that we switched our gadget as well to Fidget Spinner. It's much better for situations where you just want to freak out the opponents, like a Tara or a Sandy, while you're in this lane, trying to get positioning and trying to control that lane. You freak them out, you can kind of predict where they're going to move a little bit better. So doing a fairly decent job up against this Tara. We're going to use a super to take her out, and then with the prediction shot, the kickback, we have a handmade stick waiting for her. And we're doing really well as a team, 7-3 with the gems. Tara coming back into lane. And now that we have some of the walls destroyed, one of the major things I tried to do with a Tara or something like that is just kind of chuck out shots here and there to try to keep them back so they would be pressured back for a longer duration. But since we lost our lane now, it's a very likely or high probability that the enemy team could come back right now. So what I tried to do is pressure the mid. We kick back the Mr. P, throwing the super further, so the only way he could come to avoid it is moving forward. And then we had a prediction shot once again lined up for the Mr. P, taking him out. And it was 3v1, I believe, so that our gem carrier could pick up those gems really easily. And you'll notice when we're this high in trophies, we don't do a lot of jumping around and crazy stuff like that. You kind of got to switch up your focus. You have to be more accuracy focused Mike, as opposed to being a fun, goofy, jump around type of Mike. But not too shabby. We're sitting at 970, excuse me. So let's head to another one here. So you guys, getting into the very next match during our push up against a Penny, a Mr. P, and a Tara. I hate playing up against Tara in my lane on this map. You'll find with any brawlers that are better off trying to avoid your shots and getting in close. So like juking melee brawlers like a Primo, a Tara getting in close so she can have more damage. They're super hard to go up against because they're always focusing on trying to avoid your shots rather than aiming their shots with their basic attacks. So you'll find these brawlers super good at just like avoiding all damage coming from you. So but we're doing fairly good. We managed to secure our lane right out the get-go. We have a super in hand. We throw out our super long, causing the Tara to come up forward. We had to retreat back to gain a little health back, and we have really solid control. And much like I was talking about in the last game, now that the Tara is going to come back into lane, I'm not going to throw out like 2 sticks at once. I'm going to try to just poke, throw out a stick or 2, keep down the pressure, keep them away from us. Trying to land a double jump there, just switch it up a little bit, managing to take down the Tara there, and things are very smooth. Rin's doing a good job taking down those turrets when they're coming in from the Penny. We did surprisingly well up against the Tara. She really didn't cause too many problems. I think this is the very first super coming in and it didn't amount to anything. So we got away with that one, right? We didn't have to do too much there. Just playing a solid control Mike game here, moving into the higher trophy ranges, which is exactly what you need to do with Dynamike when you're pushing high up. You can't make a misstep with your double jumps. If you mess up with that, the whole game can be ruined with one bad play or one bad jump. But let's continue here. Okay, so getting into our next one, we're up against an 8-bit, a Sandy, and a Mr. P. Again, Sandy, Mr. P can be a little bit tricky with a map like this when you're playing Dynamike in lanes, especially Sandy. They just try to get in close. They have a little bit more movement speed than most brawlers. So this is why we carry the gadget that we have, the fidget spinner, so we can see we can get a little bit of added damage in there. Now the 8-bit is focusing in on us. So taking down the Sandy, which is fantastic, controlling our lane, getting close to taking out the 8-bit. And I remember vividly during that exchange, I thought I killed the 8-bit, or the 8-bit went down, but he used a gadget to get back to his station with 4 HP. So I was surprised to see the bullets come in and he killing us. But here we go, Sandy pushing us. And there's nothing worse than going up against a good Sandy, and situations like this happen where they just come in, they blast off 3 basic attacks, and then they retreat back to the bushes. It's really hard to play against a Sandy like this. So I take down those walls. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that crap in this game when we're this close to 1,000 trophies. So the enemy is geared up in the back, and we're just pushing on that Sandy. We know when he's coming now, right? He doesn't have the bushes to aid him or the walls, so we understand when he's coming. So taking down the 8-bit there, trying to avoid the damage from the Sandy, almost taking down the Sandy, but our teammates should be able to take that one home for us, taking out the Sandy. But getting back into lane, it is 9-3. We need one more gem. Trying to take out the station. It's another really important thing with Mike that you should try to prioritize, but I didn't do a great job during the push. But stations are really easy for lobsters to take down. But the Sandy trying to avoid damage, but without those bushes, it's really tricky for a Sandy to get in. So we're getting back into lane, trying to push up really strong so we can just secure one more gem. Throwing out all the reserves, baby. Trying to dish off as much fright tactics, fearful things here to keep them back, man. So the Sandy doesn't have walls to work with again. Really important. One thing that I've learned with like Colt and sometimes Dynamike is just taking out a small group of walls or one little obstacle on the map can make a huge difference in that game. So a wall destroying Mike or a wall destroying Colt might be the best play for you if you're trying to kind of switch up the tempo of the game. But sitting at 982, with that we're now at 988, getting close to 1,000. So let's get into another one. Okay, so this one, another kind of strange comp here, more long-range stuff that we had to deal with. A B, an 8-bit, and an El Primo for the final one. We are geared up, we are sweating our butts off, we're trying to get this dub. During the grind, it was a little bit up and down. We would win a couple, we would lose some, just because I felt like I was I play a tiny bit worse when I'm live streaming just because there's so much stuff to worry about as opposed to the lights off in my room and just eyeing up my phone, sweating my butt off. But here we go. The bee is in our lane and we don't want to take a stinger shot. So the bee is firing back at us, taking down our Tylo, doing a great job against our team. And I believe the bee is close to 1,000 too, so really, really good players here. Primo on a rampage in the back. I'm just trying to get some footing here. I see the 8-bit really, really close, and since he doesn't have a station down, we can capitalize on that movement speed. We take down the 8-bit, and now it's 2v1 heading back into lane, so a really, really clutch play. And I remember during the stream, while we were playing during our last match, we weren't playing super well, and I said, it's time to clutch up, right? Come on, do something. And we managed to get that 8-bit. So really, really happy about that, but the match is not yet over. 8-0, 2v2. Gotta try to focus on the 8-bit here. With that lack of movement speed, we can really pepper him. Taking him down with a super. Primo trying to kite into lane, but the pressure coming from Mr. P and Pam is just too much to handle. Excuse me, Sandy. Getting in there, trying to hold back this Mr. P as best as we can, or the 8-bit. I'm getting my brawlers mixed up, but it is the final game, baby. We're excited. We're getting that milestone. My second ever 1,000 trophy brawler on my second favorite brawler in all of Brawl Stars. Getting that 1,000 trophies right on the head. It was an amazing grind, a very fun experience, and I'm happy I got it out of the way. But next, it is time for that rank 35. But yeah, everyone, super excited to finally get the 1,000 trophies out of the way. The first milestone of the rank 35. It feels really, really good, and it was bizarre to say that in the beginning of the video. This is the second ever rank 30 that I've gotten Brawl Stars. The only other that I got was with Mortis on our rank 35 push, so it really puts it into perspective how little I go for milestones here in the game. But definitely want to work on that and get my favorite brawlers to rank 35, which is the goal. So Dynamike first, and then we'll go for Colt to get the 3 rank 35s, my favorite brawlers. But yeah, everyone, hopefully you all enjoyed the push with Dynamike. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to slap a like on it. I'd really, really appreciate that. With that being said, have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Keep having fun with Brawl Stars, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out, everybody. Whoosh.